Hi guys, my name is Arjit, first year undergrad at IISER Tirupati. So I'll be teaching you the stereochemistry portion and let's begin with the isomerism. So see, as it is a crash course, I will give you the essential definitions, but certainly not all the definitions, and I will try to give you more examples and more questions so that you can practice well. So that is the main fact. Let's begin. So the first question is, what is an isomer? Okay, so iso basically denotes the equal and meros denotes the parts. So the isomer basically means equal parts. So in which way equal? So let's see the definition. Isomers are compounds that contain exactly the same number of atoms, that is, they have exactly the same molecular formula but differ from each other by the way in which the atoms are arranged. See, some book write empirical formula instead of molecular formula, but I think somewhere the molecular formula is better rather writing empirical formula. Okay, so that is the general definition, but if we say for organic compounds, how we can give the definition? So for organic compounds having same molecular formula but differing from each other at least in some physical properties or chemical properties or both, that means in physical properties also and in chemical properties also, are known as isomers, and the phenomenon is known as isomerism. So remember one point, that when we are talking about isomerism in case of organic compounds, then we must include that they differ, that means the isomers differ in some physical properties or chemical properties. Okay, so let's begin with the question, that how many different structures can you think for C4H8? Okay, so my suggestion is pause the video for a while and try to figure out the solution by yourself. Okay, okay. So see, there is a thinking process. So what is the thinking process? How should we think that it is C4H8? I think you all know about the general formulas of alkenes, alkanes, and alkynes. Okay, so it is basically CnH2n. Okay, so it is the general formula for alkenes. So then the compound then the compound should contain, or then the molecule should contain double bonds. Okay, so let's see the solution. So the first solution is CH3CH2 CH double bond CH2. So I am giving number the carbon chain to give the double bond the lowest number. Okay, so the double bond is between first carbon and second carbon. So the name is but 1-in. Then comes the ring. Okay, so remember that mm, you should think about double bonds, but as well as you should think about the ring. Okay, so here it is comes cyclobutane. Then I'm changing the position of the double bond. Here it is between one and first and second carbon, and here it is between second and third carbon. So it is but 2-in, and here comes your geometrical isomerism. So since it is a crash course, I think that uh, all of you, or probably some of you, know about geometrical isomerism. So geometrical isomers are basically cis trans isomers. Okay, so we can say it trans to butene. How we are saying trans? So let me explain quickly that the identical groups, either you take methyl groups or either you take hydrogen, they are on the opposite sides, so it is trans. Okay, it is trans to butene or E to butene. I don't know that how many of you know about EZ configuration, but let me explain it also quickly. So how it is E? Actually, we are giving numbers. Okay, we are giving numbers, and what is the priority? Our priority is the atomic number. So we are giving numbers in the left hand side of the double bond, in the atoms or molecule attached in the left hand side of the double bond, and in the right hand side of the double bond. So here we are giving CH3 or methyl group as 1. Why? Because the atomic number of carbon is greater than hydrogen. Okay, here also it is the methyl group. We are giving the first priority to the methyl group and second priority to the hydrogen. So after giving the number, you can see that the highest priority groups are opposite, then it is E. Okay, and it is cis 2 butene. How it is cis? Because the identical groups, that is methyl groups, or you can take hydrogen groups, are on the same side, hence it is cis. And we can say it Z also. How it is Z? Let's assign the number in our priority criteria. According to our priority criteria, then you can see that the highest priority groups are in the same site. So it is Z. And the last one, it is 2-methyl prop 1 in. So we can see that there are 6 different structures possible. Okay, so we can say these 6 different structures as isomers. Okay, so there are two types of isomer, or two types of isomerism. That one is structural isomerism and the next one is stereoisomerism. Okay, so we can further classify structural isomerism into 6 types. So what are these? So the first one is chain isomerism, second one is position isomerism, third one is ring chain isomerism, fourth one is functional isomerism, fifth one is metamerism, and sixth one is tautomerism. And in stereoisomerism, we can further classify the stereoisomers into two different types of isomers, that is configurational isomers and conformational isomers. Okay, so in configuration, the configurational isomers are further classified into two types, that is geometrical isomers and optical isomers. So today we will deal with the structural isomerism. And if you see current year question papers, you will see that there are a few questions from the structural isomerism. And if it is asked from structural isomerism, then the tautomerism portion is mostly preferred. Okay, so in this video I will not cover the tautomerism portion. I will make a separate video regarding tautomerism. I have to put a lot of questions to understand this topic, so that you can understand the topic better. Okay, so let's begin with chain isomerism. Okay, so what is chain isomerism, or why chain isomerism occurs? So due to difference in the arrangement of carbon atoms constituting the chain. Okay, so let me take an example. So the example says, select the pair of chain isomers among the following. Okay, so there are total 8 structures. You have to select the pair of chain isomers among the following. So pause the video and try to figure out the solution. So how should you think, or the thinking process? So the thinking process is basically count the number of carbons in each structure. Okay, so now see the solution. That solution says 2 and 3, that is the first pair of chain isomers. How? 2 and 3. So count the number of atoms. 1 2, count the number of carbon atoms. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so same number of carbon atoms, and the one methyl group is displaced from the chain and reattached here. Okay, so in this way you can also figure out the others. So the answers are 4 and 7. Okay, so the 4 and 7, 5 and 6. Okay, so 5 and 6, you can easily see this because the COOH group is present, so nothing to do here. Okay, and the 1 and 8, the 1 and 8. Okay, so coming to the next topic, it is position isomerism. Okay, so what is position isomerism, or why it happens? So it happens due to the difference in the positions occupied by the particular atom or group substituents in the same carbon chain, or due to different positions of double or triple bond in alkenes and alkynes. Okay, so see one example, that write down all structural isomerism. Write down all structural isomers of C6H14 and also indicate chain and position isomers among them. Okay, so I've shown you the solution. So uh, just try to figure out by yourself. Pause the video and try to figure out. Okay, let's see the solution. Okay, so there are 5 possible structural isomers. One is N-hexane, the second is 2-methyl pentane, the third one is 3-methyl pentane, the fourth one is 2,2-dimethyl butane, and the fifth one is 2,3-dimethyl butane. Okay, the chain isomers, all the five are chain isomers, that is A, B, C, D, and E. And uh, among these 5, which are the position isomers? So the position isomers are, first is B and C. So see carefully, B and C, B and C. Here the methyl group, here in case of B, the methyl group is at second carbon. Okay, it is second. And in case of C, the methyl group is in the third carbon. And D and E, that is it is D and E, are also position isomers. So think why. Okay, so the next question, number of acyclic structural isomers represented by molecular formula C4H10O. So your options are A7, B6, C8 and D9. So pause the video and try to figure out the answer. Okay, so see the answer. So basically, there are four alcohols with this formula and three ethers. So there is also a thinking process that how should you think that here you can see that one oxygen. So first, uh, remember that the functional groups. Remember the functional groups containing oxygen. So this is a simple thinking process. Uh, by these short say thinking processes, you can figure out the questions easily. Okay, so there are four alcohols and three ethers. So let me explain ring chain isomerism. Okay, so it is nothing basically. So just see an example that the formula is C3H6. So it is propene. So it is cyclopropane. So the one thing you should really remember that the ring chain isomerism can be included in the functional isomerism if ring chain isomerism is not mentioned. Okay. Next comes functional isomerism. Okay, so let me take an example, that is C7H8O. Okay, so C7H8O. So there are three different structures are possible for this functional isomerism. That is benzyl alcohol. It is benzyl group. The next one is actually it is a derivative of phenol called cresols. Okay, C6H4 OH and CH3 both are attached with the carbon. Okay, so it is basically a ring, and it can be orthometa para uh, depending upon that ring, and it can be orthometa para uh, depending upon that on which carbon CH3 group is attached with respect to OH group or vice versa. Okay, and it is anisole. Okay, so it is basically a ether. Okay, so there are three functional isomers of C7H8O. Now comes metamerism. So it happens due to the presence of different alkyl groups attached to the same polyvalent functional group or atom. Okay, so let me take an example, that is C4H10S. So we can write it as C2H5 is C2H5, that is diethyl thioether, or C3H7 is CH3, that is methyl propyl thioether. Okay, so this portion is quite interesting. You should remember that if some polyvalent functional group is there in two or more organic compounds, then never write chain or position isomerism. It will be metamerism. Okay, so see an example. So the example is pentan 2-one and pentan 3-one. Okay, so you can uh, you can think that these are positional isomers. Okay, but it is not that. It is not that if the option get options of metamers. Okay, why so? Because the same functional group, here we are considering, on the right hand side we are considering the propyl group, on the left hand side we are considering the methyl group, and here on the left hand side or on the right hand side, both, in case of both, we are considering the ethyl group. So it comes under the metamerism. So these are metamers and not position isomers. Uh, there is a vital point that can be included in position isomerism if metamerism is not mentioned. So let me tell you one more thing. It is double bond equivalent or degree of unsaturation, DU. So with the help of double bond equivalent, the problems on structural isomerism may be easily solved. Okay. So may be easily solved because in each and every cases it is not applicable. Okay. So I'm just telling you the concept or the formula. So double bond equivalent equal to summation of n into v minus 2 divided by 2 plus 1, where n is the number of different kinds of atoms present in the molecule. V is equal to the valency of each atom. Okay, so let me take an example, that is C4H8. So for that, if you calculate dBE, then there are 4 carbon atoms and 8 hydrogen atoms. So 4 into 4 minus 2, that is V minus 2. V is valency for one carbon atom is 4, so 4 minus 2, and plus 8 because we have 8 hydrogen atoms and valency of hydrogen is 1, so 1 minus 2 divided by 2 plus 1 equal to 1. Okay, thus the compound may contain, this portion is interesting, please pay attention, that thus the compound may contain one double bond or one ring. Okay, if it is two, uh, let's consider another example, or imagine another example. For that, let's say that dB is 2, then the compound may contain two double bond or one triple bond or two ring. Okay, so you have to think in that way. Okay, so I'm giving you an exercise that calculate the dBE for C3H6O and write all the cyclic and acyclic isomers. Okay, so in the next video I will talk only about tautomerism, and we'll do a lot of examples and problems from previous years.